asked me to go ahead and record this. Some that weren't able to make it did want to definitely watch it later. So I am starting the recording process now and want to welcome everybody to the. I do this every time. There you go. I do that every time. Let's go and get started. This is the 2020 November luncheon. I want to welcome everybody in today. And let's go ahead and get started with a word of prayer to start. Mr. Gary Freeman, would you be willing to give us our invocation this morning? Maybe. All right. In that case, Pastor David, would you be willing to give us our invocation for the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
Father, just thank you for this incredible day. Lord, just continue to keep us in unity in this community in every way possible. Help us, Lord, to bless all of the businesses that are represented not only here today, but those, Lord, throughout this community. And give us wisdom and direction, God, for this chamber in every possible way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right into it. Before we do, I do want to mention we want to thank the folks at Baylor Scott and White Hospital for again sponsoring this luncheon. We appreciate their support through all of this. And so let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot of content to go through today. All right. And the luncheon today, the topic is going to be talking about the chamber, talking about where we're at and the different things we've got going on. The three presenters today, of course, myself, Mr. Barry Moore, our 2020 board chair, and Beth Trimble, our 2021 board chair. The goal for today is we're going to be given a 2020 recap, talk a little bit about the chamber industry and how things have updated, especially due to COVID, quite a bit. And then kind of go into some of our plans we have for 2021 as we're starting to look and see what this year is going to entail. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Barry.
His audio is not great, Clint. We can't hear him.
Okay.
Let's try.
So for those that, unfortunately, Barry had an issue and wasn't able to make it, so we recorded ahead of time. So let me see if I can find a way to make this work a little better. All right, folks. We're gonna pinch it since we're having trouble with the audio. We appreciate Barry at least working on this quite a bit for us, but I'll go ahead and kind of give that recap, seeing as how we're having some issues with the audio. So let's go ahead and jump into the numbers. As of today, with the Red Oak Area Chamber, current membership as of right now is 160 members. You see on our slide there, we started the year with 172 members. 38 ultimately dropped for the year, but we have brought in 26 new members. That's what gets us to the 160. Skipping a line real quick, that leads us to a 78% retention rate. Now, some of the things that we feel contributed to this, obviously COVID was a big challenge for a lot of businesses. But at the same time, for those of you that may recall, in November of 2019 is when we started our new membership program, our new structure. And even though the membership structure is great and it defines more of what we do and helps us out quite a bit, I mean, when you get down the nitty gritty of it, there was a rate increase that a lot of members saw, specifically those that, were the smaller businesses, the, home-based businesses, and the ones that only had 5, 6, 7 employees. So quite a few saw a membership rate increase at the start of 2020, as well as COVID. In a normal year, our retention rate is somewhere between 82% and 85%. So to ultimately end up at 78% in a year that, frankly, is a catastrophic year, or could be in several ways for the membership, we feel comfortable with that number, and we definitely want to, of course, improve upon it as best as we can. Last thing I want to highlight on this slide is that we do, with our new structure, with our new plan, we were able to get 15 platinum members. Those are 15 members that came in at the highest level of membership. And here are our platinum members for the 2020 year. Quite a few, several different industries. Let's go through them real quick. Baylor Scott & White, Junior's Barbecue, Access Self-Storage, Freedom Heating and Air, La Quinta Inns and Suites, Inward Journey, Waxahachie Autoplex, Green Funeral Home, Animal Hospital Oval Villa, Bombardier Aerospace, Green Pet Care Center, Faith Fellowship Church, Chick-fil-A Red Oak, Therapy Ops, and Medical City ER. So jumping into the next slide, let's talk about what happened on Friday, the last Friday, the 13th we had back in March. And that was the start of COVID, really for the chamber. Things were kind of starting to hear rumbles in the news and things starting to happen. Well, Friday the 13th really was kind of a big day where it all started for us. That was the day before the Ellis County market, and the Ellis County market was at that point postponed. Ultimately, as things were happening, we did close the chamber office, and we remained closed until May the 1st. We did postpone our golf tournament. We were able to have it in September because of the outside accessibility. But obviously that was a challenge, planning that and getting everything done. Ultimately, as we went through the COVID process, in speaking with our city leaders and coming up with plans that would work best for the health and safety of our community, at that point, it was decided that we would cancel the 2020 Founders Day. And ultimately, we moved our auction to an online format. When we discussed the possibilities of a live format, one of the things the city very clearly asked was no food or drink, wear a mask the whole time. And so, I mean, it really felt like that limited the spirit of the auction. Because that's our black tie event. That's our huge thing we do every year. And so definitely felt limited with that. And we felt the online auction would be a better option for us. And then lastly, we moved our luncheons to an online format. We started the first couple actually charging a fee, and then we, realized we weren't getting hardly anybody coming in, and we wanted to make it more beneficial for our community. I mean, we recognize it's going to be a down year, and so there's no point trying to, keep gathering when there's not as much available. So we moved our lunches to an online format, and we're making them free for folks at least through the duration of this online format. We did talk a little bit about the COVID financial impact it had on the chamber. The biggest thing is number one.
Glenn,
Yes.
can you advance the slides? We're still seeing the original slide with the photos, I believe. Is that what everyone's seeing?
Yep.
Yeah. Can we, I don't know if you're on slideshow, right?
I don't know if I am either. I apologize, folks. The computer is not working to my advantage today. All right,
There you go.
there you go. Is it working now?
Hmm.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. All right. So we're talking about the COVID financial impact. And number one, the biggest thing is we are an events-driven business. And events profits in a normal year would make up 75% of the revenue that the chamber takes in. You know, if you look at our four major events for the year, the golf tournament was successful, and we ultimately did have similar profits, similar numbers compared to the prior years. Unfortunately, when looking at the online auction, because we didn't have the dinner, because we didn't have the live auction, it really was impacted strongly by that. And ultimately, we only made about 20% of our normal revenue in this year's auction, our normal profits. So, and then altogether, there are two events: our market and our Founders Day event that were not held in 2020 altogether. So these were obviously big stumbling blocks when it came to the chamber financially. We also were unable to receive the PPP loans. We heard so much from the government about, you know, hey, we're helping small businesses, giving loans. When they initially built it, they did create it for 501c3 nonprofit organizations, but the chamber has a special designation called a 501c6. And C6s were not available in the original PPP. When they were talking about jump starting it again, that was one option that they looked at, and obviously nothing materialized from that aspect. So we were unable to receive the PPP loans that some businesses were able to. Thankfully, though, that brings us to our third point. And over many years of leadership through the chamber did have a reserve of CDs available that we were able to utilize this year, and that really helped us going, you know, and in a challenging year. I mean, it's great to have these reserves. I mean, this was our rainy day. This is the reason why we have a rainy day fund. So very thankful for those leaders in years past that had the foresight to know that these were issues coming up. Did touch a little bit on our membership restructure. This is one slide that Barry definitely wanted to point out and talk to quite a bit. Is, you know, we did start it in November of 2019, and when we started that with the plan that we had in place, we prorated the dues for all the companies so that we can ultimately start a general billing cycle on January 1st of 2021. Now, the benefit to this obviously is, you know, we did have some struggles, obviously not having as much coming in by prorating, but starting 2021 January, everybody is going to be charged their full rate. And so it's going to be a large influx of capital right at the beginning of the year, which will be beneficial for the chamber, obviously, in these down years, or this down year, I should say. Obviously, we have 5 levels of membership, and what we see is, you know, obviously all the nonprofits are taking advantage of the nonprofit rate, but the vast majority of members are in the bronze category. We do have 3 silver members and 0 gold members, but then we have 15 platinum members. So we do see kind of, it's almost a mentality of all or nothing when it comes to the new membership structure. Lastly, we want to highlight kind of some of the things that happened in the second half of 2020 that were definite benefits. Well, not benefits, but definite things of note within the chamber. August, you know, we actually looked at different options and ultimately moved our office to the Access Self-Storage conference room. Folks, obviously, Chuck and Mary are on the call, and David Hunter on the call. And want to thank the team at Access for their help with that. And from a revenue standpoint, we were able to save quite a bit of rent from that perspective. And ultimately, that was $650 a month we were able to save. September, right after the golf tournament, there was a little bit of rocky road ahead, unfortunately, as Melody resigned to pursue different opportunities. Obviously, it's not an ideal situation, and it's provided its own set of challenges, but when looking at dollars and cents, it does help save 2,000 a month in payroll when it comes to the chamber's monthly expenses. The good thing about this, if there is a silver lining aside the financial aspect, it's allowing us time to redefine the position and look at the expectations and finding what needs would work best for the chamber as we're moving forward. Um, Ultimately, ideally, we want to kind of move away from just a simple assistant. We do want some more of the marketing aspects and more of the um, computer focus, while I kind of separate the duties better than we had in years past. So that's one of the things that we're definitely evaluating and looking at moving forward. And then lastly, in October, City of Red Oak provided the chamber a $8,000 stipend. This is a program they've been doing for us for the past 10 years. And, of course, there was some worry with a year like this, what that would look like. And the City of Red Oak still supported us and still came through, and obviously very extremely appreciative of their help in this, in keeping things going. So now we're shifting to my portion, and what I want to talk about is kind of how the industry of the chamber has shifted. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, the chamber pre-COVID really was an events-driven industry. We focused on the large-scale events, this great community event. Let's bring everybody out. Let's do all these things. And we do provide some marketing to businesses and advocate the businesses to the community and really focus on, hey, let's get our business out in front. And then as time permitted and as things became available, do provide some educational and learning opportunities to our members and some to the community as well. Well, obviously, now that COVID has changed things quite a bit, that's really changed the whole industry in our focus and the way we need to go forward. Mainly, we have switched over to a marketing driven model, and obviously focusing more on the companies themselves. We see a lot looking not just across our county, but looking across the country and across the state. We're seeing a more emphasis on smaller scale events and really effort of creating those as marketing tools. One example that I would have that we've worked on a little bit this year is we had a chamber coffee hour a couple of weeks ago at Teachers Who Tutor. And it was just a simple, hey, come by, have a cup of coffee, grab some breakfast, and see this business. And was that something that the chamber monetized and that was big for us? No, it was something to help highlight our different businesses across the community. And we had 7 or 8 businesses there. It actually was a fairly good turnout. Next, you really see a focus on working with the community and businesses to promote growth. We know that we talk about it all the time. The city is growing. We're going to be a large part of the Metroplex coming up here pretty soon. In fact, I got some new numbers from Lee McCleary a couple days ago. And as of July 1st, they estimate the population in Red Oak is now 15,000 people, which is a big bump from what we had last heard, even back in January. And so, we are recognizing that the growth is coming, and we need to make sure that we're staying ahead of the growth by keeping the businesses on the forefront and keeping the community, informed when these businesses come into town, the different options that are available. And lastly, we've seen a large focus on creating educational opportunities to help businesses improve. There's been a lot of chambers all around us that are creating these educational classes. Hey, let's talk about different marketing strategies, different accounting strategies, different things to help promote business and ultimately get leaner, get more efficient, and grow, And so we've seen this as a huge industry shift, and we want to embrace that here in the Red Oak Chamber as we move forward. So how do we evolve? How do we approach this. And the biggest thing is getting back to the basics. Focus on the businesses and the community. That is something, again, we've talked about in the years past, it's been, oh, we've got to get the event done, got to get the event done. And a lot of times when folks see the chamber people out and about, be myself or Melody when she was here, it's because we were asking for, how do we support this event? How do we do this? We want to shift that. We want to get back to the basics, and ultimately we want to focus on being more relationship based. And that is going to be more time connecting with the businesses one-on-one, getting to know the businesses better, getting to know specific needs, specific roles in the community, and how we can help promote you all in a better light. And it's not me, it's we, and that's kind of it's a it's a simple shift, but it's something that we haven't focused on as much as we should have lately. Creating more visibility. We talked a little bit about the smaller events throughout the year, and we want to plan and host several more of these, just so we highlight our businesses, our different businesses around town, as well as creating opportunities for these businesses to be highlighted. How many of y'all knew who Teachers Who Tutor were before we started talking about the event? Not very many, but we had several that came that didn't even know there was anything in that building. And so that's kind of the focus we want to have, is highlight some of these businesses and really get our community involved. Ultimately, we also do want to help our businesses grow and improve. And we're doing this by creating educational series for our businesses. We're looking at different opportunities right now and how we're going to approach this. But the goal as of right now is we're going to try to start the year with a business back to basics program. And then lastly, being engaged with our community members and our chamber members. And that's how we evolve, and that's how we move forward to the right direction. So how do we do this? Improving relationships, creating more opportunities for people to get info on the chamber and the chamber businesses. We want to make sure that we're including the community in more events and more information. A lot of times it is just a chamber thing. Just we're not getting outside of our little box. Well, we have to expand more to the community to engage them better. Create more recognition for the chamber, create a pride aspect. That way the chamber members want to be part of the chamber, want to be visible. And lastly, we want to restart and utilize the ambassadors program. The ambassadors program, for those that are members of multiple chambers or have been around for a while, the ambassadors program creates, in essence, a secondary face for the chamber staff. And it's folks that get out and talk to businesses and work with different businesses around the area. So it's not just one voice or a couple voices, it's multiple. So they see the whole chamber in a sense. And we really want to utilize that this year and really get that program back up and running. And I believe that is the last of my portion. Go ahead, Beth.
Okay, well, thank you guys again for coming today. Just going to go over a few things for coming up. As Chair-elect Clinton and I have talked about several things, and the board as a whole has talked about several events. So this is going to just be kind of the big picture piece on the left, and then on the right are some things that we're developing still. But you'll see that the Ellis County Market is currently scheduled for Saturday, March 20th. So that will be something that's an all Ellis County event that changed a couple of years ago from each chamber holding their own kind of micro business market to Ellis County chambers coming together. And I think that is a huge benefit for our region. There's some other things that regionally, Clint and I have talked about as well, doing some regional things as well. So that's a big step for us to do that regionally. The golf tournament is scheduled now for May the 7th. Our Founders Day is scheduled for September 11th. That's 9/11. That's the 20th anniversary. So we're going to look at that and kind of gauge if that's going to be in too much competition with other things, or if that's a great event to do on September 11th to really bring our community together. And then the live auction and dinner will be scheduled right now for Saturday, October the 16th. Now we do know that all those events are subject to possible changes. Being here in the school district, we see We review COVID numbers every day, not just for the school district, but obviously for the county and the city as well. And so we do watch those on a regular basis. We know golf tournaments are great to have. The market is an indoor-outdoor event, so that one is pretty secure. Founders Day and the auction and dinner will be ones that we'll continue to monitor trends of COVID, if you will, and decide as that comes closer to if we need to proceed with that or look at another alternative event. Excuse me. On the right, you'll see our smaller events, the monthly luncheons that Clint's talked about, and doing the chamber hours and some after hours events. We have some cool venues in our area. We have wineries, and we have some breweries, and we have some other happy hour type environments that we can include our community to kind of gather around, and really just small indoor outdoor venues where we can have some fellowship as well. Share our sameness and celebrate our diversity as well. So one of the other ones is a shotgun tournament. We've talked for about 6-7 months now about the possibility of an outdoor concert series, maybe something that's not a one-time event, because that doesn't typically musically, one genre doesn't hit everybody, right? So watching some of the other chambers that have done sort of a series where you maybe bring in a folk singer, and then maybe you have a jazz trio, and then maybe you have a hip hop or a R&B artist type in a regional area, would allow us to have sort of a concert series that maybe hit a lot of different genres. And so that's something that we're going to look at, not only where to do something like that, but start researching how to put together that. Events at area businesses, as he talked about, the coffee being at a place or the happy hours being at some of our places of our member businesses, is a great way to showcase those businesses and not just wait for a ribbon cutting or a member event, but kind of create those events. And then we've talked about a carnival type event with the entire family, or sort of more of the Founders Day is a great parade and a marquee event here in the community, but sometimes that's a limited single time event. And so if there's a secondary event such as a carnival that could really bring our families together, that's something that we want to look at as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the education program and what that looks like for our businesses. We really want to provide member content for our businesses in particular, our organizations and nonprofits as well. As a nonprofit, but the largest employer in the region, in the city, we kind of hold a mixed bag there, if you will, that we're not a profit company, but obviously a lot of our members are, and we need to find ways to make sure that they're getting marketing value and educational content value out of the chamber. These 15-minute lessons can be short, prepackaged, on-demand type avenues that businesses can say, hey, I'm really looking for how do I do marketing where I can see the results? How do I get my ROI up for boosting Facebook, for instance? And if you're a small startup company, that may be something new to you. But we have a lot of people on our board, in our community, and in our chamber in particular, that have that expertise. We can also outsource some things to other regional experts if there's something that we don't have. That is, how do you build a business plan? How do you make sure that you file the right paperwork to be incorporated? And so there's marketing and business size aspects that we can help our companies better thrive through a pandemic and beyond. And so we want to start providing those sort of an online menu, if you will, of some 15-minute educational programs for our businesses. The quarterly series, we're also looking at themes. We talked about a legislative series to make sure when we hit January through May of this next year, that we're talking about the legislative issues that are out there and how they impact businesses. And then getting back into those fundamentals of accounting, marketing, et cetera, having those topics that are business focused, and nonprofits benefit from them as well. I mean, you can't have to balance your books if you're going to be a successful nonprofit as well. So that's kind of the education program. It has a couple different prongs, but we really see the value provided to our businesses, and that's really the angle that we want to make sure that we're focused on. So the next one is talking more about that ambassador program. Clint talked about this just a minute ago, but making sure that our members, that we have more members engaged, not just our board, and making sure that we have fall ribbon cuttings. And we had some attendance by members, and some of them were larger attendance, some were harder to attend. Now, some of that was pandemic based. I mean, there's some days that it's hard to get from my office to my door, to get out of my door. But there's other days where we just really need to make a conscious effort to make sure that we're supporting our local businesses that are coming in and we're attending these events and these ribbon cuttings. It's not just beneficial for the business that we're going to support. It's beneficial for all members to get their name out there. If I'm a new business, but I need somewhere to store materials, how do I know who to go to? Well, I know I'm going to call Doug and David Hunt, and I'm going to take care of Access Self-Storage right here in Red Oak. But if you don't know that that's a business here, you don't know how to reach to that. And the same thing with some of our partners that have their own businesses that support other businesses with marketing and using those sort of accesses. But these ambassador programs really help the chamber create a larger public presence. It's really a great way for us to showcase how we as a chamber are supporting our businesses. Event participation, if you see a ribbon cutting with 30, 40, 50 people at it, think about the marketing venue of that, the marketing value of that. And then again, just making sure, like we said, that that's open to all members, not just our board members. So really, in closing, it's really just a matter of making sure that our members aren't just signed up to be, check a box. And we want to make sure that we are providing value for their membership. And we want to make sure that membership is of value to them, because they are able to take care of some marketing opportunities we provide for them as well. Some of that is built into the platinum version of the marketing. And I know that that's definitely why some of our businesses went with that, because they see that marketing value in there. But we want to make sure for all of our businesses, we're really pushing the envelope of what a chamber can provide. We need to make sure that our businesses see the value in it and see the success of the chamber as a success for them. And so that really does lead to what we need is our businesses to be part of an active chamber. And we are, Clint and I've talked about this several times, and making sure that when people think of the Red Oak Chamber, they think, oh, they're active, they're everywhere. Everything I go to, any event I'm at, if I'm online, it's something they're logged in, and they're making their presence known, because they want to make sure we're rising up the businesses and the organizations in our community to be the community fiber of it. That's a big piece of why my superintendent is absolutely supportive of me being the chair-elect. She sees the value of our chamber connections. Absolutely. All our nonprofits do, and our businesses do. And so I think it's very beneficial for us to make sure that they're seeing that value wherever they go. And that becomes kind of a value of being a member, is that you are part of and engaged in the Red Oak Chamber. So with that, if there's anybody who has questions, Sherry and I've not had a chance to really sit down and meet with you much, but I know a lot of the other individuals on here already. But if there's any questions you guys have for Clint and I, we're definitely open for any commentary, suggestions. And that's part of us too, is we want to make sure that we're open to our members' opinions of what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
I've been involved in numerous chambers and numerous ambassador positions. Ran the one in Oak Cliff for a number of years, and it's not only a chance to interact with new members, it's a chance to promote your own business.
Mm-hmm.
See how those two fit together. But it definitely, what I think people don't see is they don't see the commitment that it takes to do that, because it does take time and effort, and of course, find it beneficial to, we did it monthly, and we get together and talk about how we're doing it as that ambassador committee. You also, find connections there, because there are multiple people in the group that said, oh, I know this person down here that's on the list that hadn't paid, and we can go then Clint can get, because Clint knows Melanie and he can go talk to her and there's an instant connection there that's not always seen, but it is a, it's a good way to build the chamber.
Absolutely. And one of the examples that we see on a pretty regular basis is our neighbors to the south. Waxahachie, has a very vibrant ambassadors program. They actually have their own label. They're called the Green Coat Ambassadors.
Oh,
And are we modeling just like them? Not quite, but I mean, seeing their participation and seeing their activity in the community is something that we definitely want to strive to be part of.
well, and also if you follow your renewal, that doesn't matter as much now, but with your one-time rollover renewals, but in some of the other chambers, you're renewing your renewals are coming up, and then you have a chance to go say, how are you doing it with the chamber, and what can the chamber do to help you out in your business?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate your comments. Anybody else have anything?
Beth, I've liked all those ideas as far as it takes all of us to be ambassadors. I live in Red Oak, so my business is not just in Red Oak. My kids have graduated from Red Oak. And I've been a booster parent, and recently Red Oak reached out to me about mentoring. Go figure. So
Yes, need more mentors too.
yeah, so I just, filled out my information. I'm thinking, where did they get my name? But I definitely believe in the city, and I'm, more and more I am meeting more business owners, and I feel that there's a lot of businesses that are still not a part of the chamber. They just don't feel it's necessary. They feel they can run their business without it. And we all need to show them that at least join the chamber. It's a good place to be. It has benefits. We reach out, we let people know, we connect people, just as you said. And the only way to do that is to talk to those who are not chamber members. Just as Clint said, we have 160 members. It needs to grow. There's always room for growth. So I agree with that. I think that's an excellent idea. I think offering the additional learning part of it, there's, as a chamber member, you can be a part of, some educational things, that are going on to help build your business. I think that's an excellent idea. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome. We're excited to have you.
Absolutely.
A lot, like you said, that's one of the biggest things to me is the members that we have been good members, and we have some definite new ones. Clint's done a great job of going out to some of our businesses that have not been members in the past, or maybe in the farther past, and getting them signed up. But there are still a lot of businesses in Red Oak that feel they're going to be just fine independent on their own, and they probably will be, but why not take one more step and grow even more? If I'm looking for a dentist, I go on the Red Oak page, find somebody who's a member, because I think that they're more engaged in their community. And so I see the value of membership being beyond the fellowship type of it, and to really be an educational component of it. The point of these micro events almost is to be out in the community. If you're at a for lack of a better term, some people don't like this term, at a strip center where you're at a business in a strip center, and the businesses next to you are, and they're like, why are all these people in this business? Well, we're all there for a coffee. Well, I didn't know you guys did that, and so all these people just came pouring into a business that didn't know about. And so I think that that's a great way to do some more outreach, if you will, and be more visible in the community. So absolutely, we're excited to have you on board.
Absolutely. I echo the same sentiment. And a perfect example was the Teachers Who Tutor, because she's right next to Juicy Bones, the new barbecue place, and Greg's barbershop that's been around forever. And neither are members of the chamber, but they both came over and saw all the folks there and talking with Diane. And I mean,
Mhm.
8 o'clock on a Friday morning, who's really there and teachers who tutor? Well, people in your community trying to support. And so I think as we see that growth and more of these things happening, that's really going to make people want to gravitate to the chamber more. So
Well, they're not members yet.
not members yet.
Right.
Although Juicy,
My son gets his haircut at that barber shop, and best friends to the owners of Juicy Bones are my next door neighbors.
yeah.
Not
Well,
yet.
I talked to him quite a bit. They're looking at it right now. They're not sure what level they want to come in, but they're coming in. So all right. Well, good deal. Any other questions, anybody?
And if you don't have them today, you guys always know how to get hold of Clint. You can always get hold of me. If not, if you don't have mine, just go to the Red Oak ISD Communications webpage and you can find me on there, and you can always shoot me an email as well anytime. But yeah, we're always open to ideas. I mean, communications is my job. Public relations is my job. And so the same way that we've, for those of you who are connected to the district, that, we launched our Hawks Unite. So everyone's got Hawks Unite stuff on everything, on shirts, on masks, on everything we push out. So, we want to make sure that theme is also carrying, from my perspective. I want to make sure that theme is carrying through to the community as well. I mean, we need to be united and embrace all of Red Oak. And that's not always comfortable to everybody, but it needs to be all embraced. I mean, we all need to be supporting each other and lifting each other up, because it makes our community a better community. And so I think that that's a big piece of getting past some identity of growth. When we get through this growth, what are we then? Well, we're still going to be growing, but we're not Dallas County. So we're not really on that side of town, but we're not, Waxahachie's kind of got its own thing going on, but let's be proud to be Red Oak and be a business community that supports each other. And I think that that's a big piece of it.
Absolutely. Very well said. Okay. Well, thank you so much for everyone for your participation today. I want to definitely highlight a couple things real quick. First of all, as y'all saw through numerous emails, our votes for the chamber board were in the last few weeks, and we do have some board members on the call with us. And so I do want to congratulate Ms. Sherry Davis on being elected to the chamber board, and Pastor David Johnson for re-election to the chamber board. And of course, Beth is geared up to be the board chair next year. And as mentioned several times during the presentation, we've talked about some ideas and getting things together, because we know that the industry's shifted, everyone's turning a corner, and we've got to turn that corner as well and stay on the forefront. So lots of work to be done with the board. With that being said, that is about all that I have today. And as we finish up every chamber luncheon, I do want to just go around the room and introduce everybody and let you have a few moments to say hi. And we'll start with Chuck and Mary.
Oh, thank you. For being a part of the meeting today, and good to get all the ideas and hear what's going on in the community and in the chamber. And so thank you for letting us be a part of Access Self-Storage.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it. My neighbors, they're just right outside the glass doors. I can hear them just as clearly that I get the speakers. All right. Pastor David.
My name is David Johnston. I'm the senior pastor at Highland Meadows Church here in Red Oak. And this Sunday night at 6:30 at Eastridge Baptist Church, we'll hold our annual community Thanksgiving service. Everyone is invited. So.
Absolutely. And that'll be coming out on the newsletter as well. And so definitely want to encourage you all to participate in that. All right. Thank you, Pastor David. Mr. Hunt.
Yes, sir. Well, I think my presence should be pretty obvious. I'm one of the partners of Access Storage that is letting you use part of our facilities, which that was an intentional design on our part, was to have a conference room that the community, corporately or individually can use for community needs. So that will be coming up not too far down the road with our annual gift wrapping program. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Provide the space and the materials to wrap Christmas gifts.
Absolutely, huge program. And then, of course, with us being in the conference room here, we've talked about how we're going to set that up in a different area, but we're looking forward to that.
Rearranging.
Yeah, rearranging that. Absolutely. Well, thank you, David. Appreciate it. Sherry.
Sherry Davis, and I'm the owner of Discount Event Rentals. I think I've already kind of introduced myself earlier, so I'm just excited about, being a part of the chamber. Well, I was already a chamber member, but being a part of the board and everything that it has to offer. So that's about it.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Gary Freeman.
Good afternoon, Gary Freeman with Homestead Senior Care. I'm trying to get re-engaged here. Hopefully one of these days we'll actually have our 10-year anniversary celebration of being
Yes.
in business, and also have an open house here at our property on Red Oak Road. We haven't done that yet, so looking forward to some changes where we can have some big celebrations. But it's trying to get re-engaged, and it's great to see everybody out there.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Dr. Karen Finn.
Hello, y'all. Sorry I am off of video today. It's a really bad hair day. I'm a little bit vain. Sorry. I have an online marketing company called KJ Content Marketing, and I help folks get found online.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. And then Pastor Henry Batson.
Greetings, everyone. I hope that you all have had a great day, great meeting today. Welcome, Sherry. Just wanted to say greetings. Hope everyone's having a safe, everybody's being safe in terms of they're going out and they're coming in. Clint, great job, man. Look forward to next year. I think we're going to have a really great year. Great job, great vision, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we've got one more on the call, but the name title only says owner. So if you are the owner, let us know who you are. Or maybe not. Maybe just listening in today. So, and then of course, Beth and I have been talking quite a bit, but of course, I'm Clint, president of the chamber, and working on a lot of things here in the chamber office. That's kind of why I have the background picture. But in all of this planning for 2021 and getting things ready, reorganizing and making sure that my processes are doing the right thing, and that I've got a plan in place that I can stick with and help become more focused and do the right thing for our community. So. Beth, I'll leave the final word with you for today.
Can I interrupt you just a second? I don't know if y'all saw it. There's in the chat. The owner is Nicole from CNR.
Oh, okay. Oh, Nicole, yes. Yes, okay. CNR Sales and Repair Air Conditioning Company.
Says their microphone is not working.
So, mic is not working. I apologize about that. Thank you, Nicole, for chiming in. Great business. They were actually at one of our ribbon cuttings not too long ago, and great to see Nicole and the team re-engaging, and definitely want to promote them. Air conditioning wise, doesn't just end during the summer. This is the perfect time to get the tune-ups and get everything checked out with your ACs. And so, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you tuning in. And then now, Beth, I'll leave you with the last word if you would like.
Well, I just want to say thank you again to everyone. We're very excited about this shift that's going to take place a little bit, and how the chamber really focuses on some micro events and really focuses on our membership. And so we're really excited about the next year's business plan, if you will. And so we're very excited to have all of you coming on board, and with Sherry joining the board, and our other members that are jumping on the board, and in our existing board. We're very excited about our board team, and with Gary and David Hunt. You guys have some experience on the ambassador side of it. And Nicole, I know you're on there, so I'm gonna tell you too. And Finn, you guys, and Mr. Batson, I know you guys are, I know Pastor Batson, I know you're hitting them straight down the fairway right now because I saw where you were and I'm a little jealous about that. But when we do ambassador program, and I need you to be out there on the golf course being an ambassador of the chamber as well, okay? So anyway, to say all that, I just want to say thank you guys. Please, please, please have a very safe, wonderful Thanksgiving. Be careful out there and keep your mask on and 6 feet apart. That's what we have to live with here in the district. And we keep your mask on and 6 feet apart. So have a great time. Thank you for joining us today and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you all so much.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Concerning what she just said, for the community Thanksgiving service, please, if you're coming, wear a mask because we're doing separation, mask, sanitizing. And thank you, Beth, for what you just said, because that reminded me to remind that when that goes out, you will not be allowed to come into the building without a mask.
And if you want to dispel any rumors, we are not closing school between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're still here. So send your kids. We'll still be here.
Good deal. Well, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Hey, Clint.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Beth.
Bye.